Hello, hello, everybody, and welcome. We got another battle here. Domination mode, Dark Elves versus Tzeentch. And yeah, it's an interesting matchup. I think that Village was kind of obvious that it was going to be brought. You know, new DLC, people want to try out the new stuff. So going into this, I wanted to apply some of the lessons I've learned from the other matches that I'd played. So, namely, I wanted to bring more infantry, like more cheaper infantry, and just try to really get heavy on that. I wanted to make sure I had answers to kind of armor and range play. So I don't know. I guess I was very conflicted with this because I ended up making the same mistake, but I was a step in the right direction. So if I quickly look back at some of these older builds, so like with this one, not nearly enough infantry in the starting army. If I look at the Khorne match I played, Sisters of Slaughter, way too many of these. They're very high quality, and it means you don't get a good saturation of units. So here, I wanted to try to do a little better. But I don't think I did it well enough yet again. I could have brought more infantry than I did. Certainly more infantry in this reinforcements pool. So, the logic is that Black Ark Corsair's anti-infantry bonus should be enough to deal with armor because you get a certain amount of damage through each pick. We had the Bolt Fiends to clear out super elite things like Chosen. I wanted to have the Slaanesher's Harvesters and Doomfire Warlocks generally because I thought, well, it's kind of nice to have some ability to put out some extra magic. You know, the what do you call it? The Word of Pain being a really solid spell. But I made some mistakes, so I bought 3 of these in the back because I was like, we'll just keep summoning them, and yeah, it generally doesn't work that way. So I should have cut these completely. I think I also probably brought too many repeated crossbow throws, but you'll see it in action. So my opponent here, Village, we know that. He's got pink horrors, flamers. I wanted to have answers to deal with that, so I brought some harpies. I also brought some Scourge Runner chariots in case he brings spawn and the like. I figured Scourge Runner chariots could also be good against flamers because they are large. And, you know, cavalry, Doomfire Warlocks, you know, that sort of thing. Also, if he brings Kairos, they could do good against him. So, let's have a look. I know, long intro, I apologize. Also, as far as the Dark Elf focus is concerned, I've decided I want to at least get 10 Domination matches in with them before I switch to other factions, but I am starting to get eager to spread out on the roster. So it's also worth noting that I brought Malekith here, and Malekith may seem like a strange pick, but he does have the Supreme Spell Shield, and I figured maybe against all the magic attacks coming in from the warriors and chosen and such, it could be good. So if we slow it down here, we can see we've got the old, where is it, Supreme Spell Shield. So it says on self, and the enemy gets lower power recharge and reserves for 35 seconds, duration infinite. It affects all allies in range, which is 35 meters. So basically, all units around him get 20% spell resist, and yeah, the enemy spellcaster just gets a lower recharge rate and such. So I figured that was a cool choice against Slaanesh. So again, we're sort of marching in formation because we have been punished for, you know, like things like this getting hit with big things like pendulums and other such abilities. So we brought out the Furies because we had a look and we see 2 pink horrors and some flamers. Where are the flamers? Over here. We've also seen the Doom Knights, and I'm not quite sure how to respond to them at first. I'm trying to work out what I want to commit, what I want to summon. I end up going for the Crows of Cain, because they do have decent enough stats, good melee defense. I could throw them at the Doom Knights to hold them up, decide against it, decide they're better off screening the pink horrors as I march up to take the second point here. And I send Malekith back. I figure he's more than enough. I can throw out a Word of Pain. I can get some more units in from the back. I decide to go for a second unit of Harpies. And these guys, yeah, they're also pretty tanky as far as melee defense is concerned. So here we go. Here come the Furies. He's got Flamers on the flanks. The pink horrors open up a salvo, and it's definitely spicy. It's definitely very spicy. But now we're using that aura. What does it do again? I've forgotten. Alright, so they just replenish. Yep, so very good. But they break very quickly. But they did their job. So we've got the Doom Knights coming in now. I'm throwing some Dark Riders into the sorry, these are actually Slaanesha's Harvesters. I sent them over here, but I brought them back. Throwing them in to just sort of deal with this. I've got some Harpies to deal with the Screamers, trying to get my crossbows away. Malekith's in the mix. I don't know why he's standing out here. He should be actually in the mix, but I am casting spells. I've got the Word of Pain. They flee, realizing that it's no good. I've got the Word of Pain over here as well. The Screamers. Again, I just want to make sure we win. And yeah, these Flamers shoot at my Black Ark Corsairs and absolutely destroy them, which is just a shame. So I'm sending in more. We've got this unit committing. I'm trying to get my crossbows onto the point to make sure we take it. Also, that was a blade wind there that didn't do too much, sadly. And we can see that no one's actually contesting this point. I made sure to come over here and grab this. I should have sent a unit over here. I just assumed my opponent would throw something over here, but he's committed everything to the center. So that's my mistake for not checking that center. So that point's going to remain unclaimed for a while now. So I take the center. I'm shooting into the Chosen with crossbows, but here come the Flamers, and gosh, they're scary. So more Harpies. I've got the Scourge Runners here. I'm figuring they could maybe get some damage done on these Doom Knights, which I'm now just throwing the Slaanesha's Harvesters in to just kind of try to just hold in place. The Harpies are coming in to sort of slow down the advance of the Chaos Warriors so I can get more shooting in. But the Pink Horrors, you know, we didn't do nearly enough damage to them. A complete travesty, so more Harpies coming out. The Flamers are now unloading onto my bolt throwers, and just, yeah, what a shame. I guess repeater crossbows, not bolt throwers. I keep getting those two confused. So if I say bolt throwers, I mean the Dark Shards, okay? I promise. That's what I mean. So this magic spell coming out seemingly did a decent amount of work. I expected the spell to be kind of a bit of a meme, and it seems to be doing okay for clearing out blocks of infantry if you cast it in the right place. So, shooting more at the Chosen, more Harpies on the Flamers. Malekith is in the mix doing his thing, casting spells, so we can see a Blade Wind coming out here. And you know, it does alright, but it doesn't do great. It does okay. Maybe I should have tried to focus it a bit more on the Chosen. But at this rate, I pull them out. I want to try to hunt down these Doom Knights because they're just tearing up my units. These poor little Dread Spears over here doing nothing. And yeah, Murderous Prowess triggering, of course, after the fighting is done. So now I've got the Harpies have cleared out those Flamers. So now it's time to get them onto the Pink Horrors. I throw forward some Corsairs because why not? I've got Harpies coming around from over here. I notice at this point that this point is completely untaken. I guess my opponent does too. He sends some Blue Horrors, and I say, well, I got some Harpies, I got some Dark Riders, that should be golden. So we'll see what happens over there. My opponent also summons some Chaos Warriors and Pink Horrors to send over to the first point, so that's a problem. And he's taken the center from me, because it's just with all the trading it's going well. At this point in the match, the value trading is actually fairly even, so that's a factor. He's desummoning some stuff, as well he should. I'm just getting some Dark Riders out because I'm figuring I need to just put some more pressure on these Pink Horrors, get around him, deal with these Chosen by like morale, and I'm using the what do you call them? The Scourge Runner Chariots to hit the Chosen of Khorne at this rate. I also have Malekith here, and yeah, the Chosen are going to put a beating on him. I figured I could maybe just hold them in place, get some damage done, throw out some magic. And I did some good. I used some Gaze of Malice, and I'm also committing the Chariots, just trying to get some shock damage here. I've got the other Ravagers of Rakath who are out of ammo to come in and try to do the same. And one thing that I guess is doing a lot of work for my opponent is Village's shield regeneration, which I underestimated. I'm not very good with managing Chariots, that's why I try not to bring them, so a little miss micro here. I should be moving them through and around, but I'm just not great at that yet, because I'm also trying to handle here. It looks like I didn't quite capture this point as I thought I did, so when I committed forwards it was actually way too early and the point didn't capture, so that is a damn shame. So that's a mistake from me. I also moved my spears forward here. I leave them sort of idle. I push them forward because I figured if I position them right it would be hard for my opponent to get around and it would delay him capturing the first point because I figured it was gone almost certainly. Looks like even despite the fact that I was not managing this location, my opponent still got the Chaos Warriors caught on the spears, so they're doing their job despite my lack of micro. So the center is going badly. It looks like I'm starting to reclaim it, but that won't last for very long. It's just Dark Riders in here, it's the Chariots I have tried to move these ones through and around, but it didn't work out so well. The others are also getting caught. My bad. Malekith also not doing too much, just sitting idle as I frantically click around the map. Here come more Dark Eye Corsairs, because I just obviously need the capture weight in the center. Points-wise, I'm still ahead by about 1,000, so that's good. There's the Gaze of Malice. I tried to hit it on the Furies, but sadly they went into the air and dodged it, so well done on my opponent. Killed my opponent from him. And yeah, so more Corsairs. I was saving up a bunch. I'm now trying to just retake and hold the center. I figure he's weakened enough that I can potentially just take and claim, but I still don't really have an answer for Village, sadly. The Scourge Runner Chariots maybe could have been good, and unfortunately I'm just trying to clear out the large targets. In hindsight, I should have maybe focused Village a little harder, just in the match generally speaking. But it's not much I could do. My opponent is summoning some more ranged units. As far as over here is concerned, he's starting to capture this, and that is no good. So it wasn't able to capture that third point. I'm starting to lose the first. And again, if I just sent one unit over here like a Dark Rider very early, this could have been, I could have been potentially another 1,000 on top of my opponent, you know, so really bad for me not to check that out, take advantage of it. So here come the Black Ark Corsairs, but Village is casting magic. Malekith isn't here to give them protection anymore because he's gotten his breaks beaten off. I'm heading over to point 1 with some Harpies to try to take this back. I figure with the both of them we can clear out the Blue Horrors and then hopefully I have enough capture weight to take that quickly. And that's another thing we'll have to discuss when we get to it. And yeah, we're starting to recapture the center. He's got some very injured Chaos Warriors and some Chosen, and I've got the Corsairs to handle it. I've also thrown some Dark Riders onto the Pink Horrors, trying to stop them from firing. Over here, you know, it's pretty hopeless. What I end up doing is sending a unit over here just to try to keep him accountable, hold him in place, and that was also a mistake. Yeah, so here come the Crows, and they're doing a good job. They're very capable of beating this unit, I believe, as they do their wicked work, and Malekith will be the capture weight. So we'll see how that goes. I don't really know what to do with Malekith at this point. These Black Elk Corsairs are now just getting shots on them for free as my opponent gets the Pink Horrors slamming. And what does he summon other than 2 Flamers? So it's just going to be very difficult. At this point I commit my Corsairs forwards, trying to get on the Pink Flamers. I've got spears coming in to hold them back. My opponent has forgotten about his Screamers in the air here. Maybe he's just trying to let them regenerate. And yeah, this is a mistake. I sent some Corsairs over here. I should definitely have sent them to the center. I just figured we had enough infantry to hold for a while, and that was not the case. So unfortunately these Dark Riders shatter before they get the charge off. I also have Malekith fighting those Blue Horrors, so now the capture weight is going to me over here, and these Harpies are freed, so I can send them forwards to try to deal with the Flamers, who are now eliminating my Black Ark Corsairs. And Village doing a great deal of work on my infantry, and here comes a good spell. He roasts. You know, it didn't do too much damage, but it's enough to affect morale as the Screamers come in for a charge, which breaks them. The Spears are holding firm. But here come the Chosen back from, you know, just 0 HP. They've got the fully recharged Protoss shields. It's going to be a problem. So more Harpies to deal with these Flamers. More Harpies, but I'm not able to deal with them fast enough. He's roasting his infantry, but he's doing more damage to me than he is to himself. And he'll get this capture weight back, so it's starting to look like a foregone conclusion. This unit that I threw over here just to kind of keep him accountable, it's just silly. It's a silly idea. Shouldn't have done it. If I was going to do it, I should have committed more to it than I did. And indeed, maybe I should have let him take the center and focus on the sides. Malekith hasn't even captured this yet because with just a Lord here, the capture weight is so low that it just takes 4 years to capture. So basically my opponent has 3-capped me, and it's going to be ticking up quickly. So let's fast forward here. We can see I have some units just trying to get some value. I throw units into the fray, and yeah, look, I could maybe even recapture the center, but it's far too little too late as my opponent's advantage ticks forward more and more. So heaps of mistakes being made, but I like the build a lot better. I definitely made some mistakes in terms of building the build in the first place. So let's have a look at the stats as they break down here in the end. So Malekith, got a 1900 value, so he paid for himself. I'm happy with that. I think the spell resist is a cute little thing. I don't know how good he is overall, but definitely it was fun. I think Malice Darkblade may end up just being better for the duel against characters like Village and clearing out infantry like Chosen with the transformed Zark, and he's much more durable. Self-healing is such a good thing. So we're into that. Slaanesh's Harvesters didn't really do much at all. To be fair, I did throw them at Doom Knights, and Doom Knights are not bad when it comes to dealing with cavalry. So I'm not going to say they're bad in the matchup, but I definitely didn't play with them well enough. I think in future I would cut them. I also didn't summon any of these Doomfire Warlocks. I would cut these all completely. And just get spears. Just more spears. More infantry. Maybe even cut one of the bolt throwers, because if we have a look we can see that this one got a great deal of value. He just had a lot of units that were able to dive on them, so if I cut these two, got more spears, I could protect them a lot better. They could get a lot more work done. And the Corsairs also I think were good. We can see 500, 500, 600, well almost 700, 400. So generally speaking, they almost paid for themselves. They were alright. I was a fan of them. I'd bring them again. Yeah, Harpies obviously really necessary units. The Dark Riders, when it comes to any faction that has ranged units, Dark Riders just do a lot of work. Also, they're great for just capturing points, you know, sending out, Vanguard deploy, all that good jazz, so they're good. Yeah, I really liked the Scourge Runner Chariots as well. I think 2 is a good number. I may be able to just skip the Ravagers of Rakarth and bring just 2 of the standard ones to save a little cash, so I have more money for things like infantry, or even something more elite, I don't know. Anyway, my opponent, you know, obviously got great value on Village, just stood in the middle of the fight and did whatever. Yeah, the Doom Knights, despite me trying to shut them down, did good work. I think a lot of this value is actually the Slaanesh's Harvesters. The Chosen also doing extreme value, which is a shame. Flamers doing really great. In terms of value trading, though, it was fairly even across the whole match. Towards the very end, it started to go into his favor. Pink Horrors weren't able to shut them down. This map, it's very good for sort of choking up the middle so that you can have ranged units just pouring their fire onto the first point. So in hindsight, maybe I should have brought something a bit more able to shut them down at range, like maybe one bolt thrower. I've been trying not to bring it because I was trying it out for a while, but perhaps that could do well. Yeah, I mean the Furies also did well. Wow, these Blue Horrors also did work. So yeah, just great value from my opponent across the board. Yeah, what can I say? I just didn't have the answers I really needed. You know, these Screamers doing great work as well. Yeah, so well done to my opponent. He played really well. I liked some of the things I was working on. I definitely feel like I'm improving, but still not quite there yet. Alright, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.